Hello, I'm Pete Gatenby, AI partner and practice lead at Novus Strategy. Welcome to the December AI monthly bulletin. I'm going to focus on what's happened through 2025, some of the latest changes, and then what that might mean moving into 2026 for you as a lender or participant in the UK home buying and selling industry. So looking back at 2025 and forward towards 2026, maturity is what we're talking about in AI, not demos or POCs. The foundations of shared data and APIs, orchestrating with an agent-safe endpoint and operating with a single control plane and telemetry are really what's going to move us forward. But evidence everything with standard evaluation and lineage so you can scale safely moving into 2026. So from a regulatory standpoint, 2025 has been an interesting year. The FCA has set its line in the sand. They are not going to introduce new regulations to govern AI in relation to financial services. They are falling back to the principles that they've got already within the FCA guidelines and regulations, heavily referencing consumer duty. That doesn't mean that the overarching rules around AI do not apply, which is where the EU GPAI Act comes in. That very much governs the providers within the AI space and making sure that any vendors that you do utilise are required to provide their logic for how they've come to a particular output. No black box thinking here, which is particularly relevant as we move into 2026 as we see more people deploying those toolings. We've seen digital ID and QES move forward in 2025, and we're expecting that will drive forward some of the initiatives that many lenders and actors in the ecosystem deploy. Digital checks via HMLR and the business gateway are also moving forward, so we expect that to take hold as well as we move into the new year. So looking at some of the tooling and how that's evolved over the last few weeks and months, we've seen a couple of jumps forwards actually, especially from an agent tech standpoint, which really is unlocking agentic capabilities. We've seen OpenAI's ChatGPT 5.2 come this week actually, which improves long context reliability and coding. What does that matter, and what is that we're going to see that play into some of the deployments in our industry? Well, it's to do with document and calculator tooling. We've seen Google leap forward as well, their interaction API and the research agents being exposed in a really unified way, which again increases the capabilities from an agentic standpoint. Anthropic shipped long-running agent harnesses and dynamic tooling, which means that any assistants that are using the Anthropic frameworks can now plan, fetch and act for a much longer period, increasing the power that they unlock. The UK AI Safety Institute has also updated Inspect, which is the tightening of the standards when it comes to evaluating agents. This really means that as we start to couple that together, pilots are really becoming dependable upon when it comes to real life operations. If you're factoring that into your agentic testing or agentic deployments, this is really going to unlock things moving into 2026. The next thing we've seen through 2025 and continue to strengthen into 2026 is the data rails, especially when it comes to property. HMLR brought the digital business checks into the business gateway, QES we've mentioned before, but we also saw great steps forward when it comes to the Data Use and Access Act, enabling smart data and digital verification. Now we talk a lot about standards in our space, but that's going to continue to move forward. It's going to remove handoffs if the APIs and contracts are ready. So think about your HDI strategy. That's going to be the big unlock here as we start to see data start to flow through the process much cleaner. So what are the key takeaways for you today? All of these are underpinned by your HDI strategy, of course. First of all, plug into the HMLR business gateway for digital checks. 2, stand up a smart data consent service so that as the smart data comes into play, you're ready. Agent safe endpoints for criteria and affordability, that'll make it ready for AI. And adapt, inspect style evaluations and centralize artifacts. So we're talking about architecture that underpins your AI capability. And the final big takeaway, of course, HDI is the unlock. But really, you need to build your AI capability and maturity and not just POCs. What will that do as we move forward? It allows us to be AI first and customer centric throughout 2026. Thanks again for listening. Of course, if you do need anything, please do reach out to me on LinkedIn or via the Novus website. Thanks a lot. Have a great new year, and we'll see you in 2026.